Guess what happens to it? You never use it. It gets in your gadget graveyard, doesn't it? Hey, does anybody here have a food processor? Where is it? Underneath the counter? And I'll tell you what, if you will keep this thing out on your countertop, man, when you have one, too, is you can just put the cones right in the top there like that, and it doesn't take up very much counter space. You use it all the time when you do that way. Now, a lot of folks will ask me, they come to the show, and they say, what in the world is waterless cooking? Waterless cooking is this. We utilize the natural moisture that's already in our vegetables to cook them. A lot of people don't understand just how much moisture is in their vegetables. Look at this. You see that hash browns I made? Watch this. See the moisture coming out of there? What we're going to do is we're going to learn how to utilize that moisture so we can keep the vitamins and nutrients in our foods. Now, the other question that folks ask me a lot is they say, well, what in the heck is the difference between your cookware and anything I can find at any good cookware or store on the internet? Folks, all traditional cookware cooks from the bottom up. Waterless cookware transfers energy so well it cooks from the bottom up, the sides in, and the top down. So what it does is it cooks from all sides at once. We can keep all the vitamins and nutrients in our food. Let me get that plate for you. Get here real quick, man, so you don't have to hold that all day. There you go. Let me sanitize my hands. And so what we're going to do is we'll cook from all sides at once so we can keep the vitamins and nutrients in our foods. Now, I'll show you how it works later. Let's get some carrots cooking. And we'll put some of the other vegetables right along with them. Alright, now, how many of you folks in my audience here like broccoli and zucchini? Ooh, I'm glad to see hands go up. Did you know that broccoli and zucchini both have things in there that are retardants for breast and colon cancer? The other thing about broccoli, good source of calcium. 1 cup of this stuff has as much calcium in it as a 1/3 cup of skim milk. Now, ladies, I'll tell you what, other vegetables like cabbage has a lot of calcium and you don't absorb it as well. This is about the same as milk. Then we're going to put us in here some yellow squash. Did you know one average yellow squash has as much vitamin C in it as an orange? Why I put it in here, though, is we eat with our eyes. Because if we don't like what we're looking at, we ain't going to eat it, right? Especially kids. Here's some trivia. Guess what some of the favorite colors a lot of little kids these days are? Red and yellow. You want proof? Look at every single major fast food sign in America. What color is it? Red and yellow. Not by accident either. See, they found reds and yellows excite the appetite, especially in kids. We're going to do a lot to put that in here. Now, this is red cabbage. It has stuff in there that retards cataracts, but have any of you ever cooked with red cabbage? It turns a funny gray color generally, doesn't it? Watch what color it is when we get all that cooking up in here. Then I'm putting us in here some corn on the cob. Y'all like corn? When you're done cooking it up, what do you put on there? Butter and salt? I'm not going to boil that corn. I'm not going to put any butter and salt on it either. I want you to see what real corn tastes like. Then the last one I'm going to put in here is a little red bell pepper. Hey, does anybody at my show know the difference between a red bell pepper and a green one? Don't say color now. They're sweeter. They do have more vitamin C. And did you know one average one has 320% of the RDA of vitamin C? But the reason why they're sweeter too is they've been on the vine longer. And the vitamins and nutrients have had time to mature with the plant. Hi folks, come on in, have a seat. I got a free gift for you here. I gave everybody else. I'll give it to you in just a minute. The other difference you'll find is when you go to the grocery store, they're a lot more expensive, aren't they? But isn't it like anything else in life? You get what you pay for. It's a riper, sweeter vegetable, so you got to pay more for it. Let me get these guys a free gift I gave everybody else. Now it's a juicer, and what you do is you put this in an orange, you get the juice out and keep the seeds in. There's one for you, each of you guys there. There you go. There you are. All right, now, this is the little medley we put together. Guys, I got one for you too. Come on and grab a seat. We got a juicer for you. Now, that's pretty, isn't it? Now, if you're going to cook that up at home, what do you got to put in there now to cook that? Water. So typically what we do, if you're anything the way I used to cook, I take some water, dump it in that baby, and I'd head over the stove with it, crank her up on the high to get out of the kitchen quick. You know what? 10 or 15 minutes later, I was over here jabbing and stabbing, poking on that thing, see if it was dead or done. If it happened to have any color, texture left, I'll let her go another 10 minutes. I always did it that way because that's the way Mom taught me. Don't get me wrong, my mom was a really good cook, but it's just the way she was taught. Isn't that the way actually most of us were taught? But I told you I was going to cook these vegetables without water, so you're probably wondering, why in the heck did you put that in there anyway? I did it on purpose to teach you something. Water's a natural solvent, isn't it? Don't they tell us to drink lots of this stuff? It flushes toxins from your system. Did you know this though? The Mayo Clinic says the 2 worst things you can do to your vegetables is 1, cook them in water, and the 2nd, cook them on high heat. Watch this. That's been in there probably less than a minute. And already what we've done is flush out of their natural sugars and vitamins and minerals and beta-carotenes, and I ain't even cooked it yet. That's just a little bit of a rinse. So I think we could agree with the Mayo Clinic. One of the worst things we do to our vegetables, cook them in water. I'm going to show you high heat here in a minute. We'll get all that water out of there we can. We're going to put the cover on here, bring it to the stove, but folks, we're not going to cook it at what temperature? High, right, we don't need high. With waterless cookware, medium is the new high. We're going to put on medium to low, that's all you really need. So we'll put it there on medium, and we're going to watch for a little vapor to come out of this cover. That's going to tell us it's ready to come off. Since you're sitting right here, would you help me with that? Let me know. What's your name, hon? Denise is in charge of my vegetables. Denise, I hope you're a good cook. My whole demonstration's in your hands there, hon. Let's see what you can do. Hey, should we put some of these carrots in here the old-fashioned way too, the way my mom and I used to do it? Let's drown them in water, just as a little challenge, and cook them on high heat. We'll even use this water with the extra beta-carotenes and stuff in here for flavor, and what we're going to do is bring it over here and crank them up on the high. Now we got our vegetables cooking. Let me get this guy up. One of these juicers here for the family there. We got the two little ones with you there today. Who does the cooking? Me? Yeah, here you go. There you go. There's one for you and the kids. Put that in orange. Have a seat there. Would you like a piece of cake to share with the kids? It's really good, a pineapple upside down cake. There you go. All right, now we got our vegetables cooking. Now let me ask you, first off, is there anybody in my audience that's a doctor? Nobody? Perfect, guys. Feel safe to tell me the truth. How many of you like fried foods? What's the first thing most people put in the pan when they're going to fry foods? Grease, oils, lards, fats, butters. You know what? I travel around a little bit, but you know some areas of the country I go to, they think this is good for you? Not exactly. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put some of this, I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to cook with it. I'm going to put some of this on the back of my hand. We're going to show you something a heart surgeon showed our company once, and we liked it so much, we keep it in the show. Now, what do you suppose is going to happen to that grease on the back of my hand by the end of this demonstration? Has anybody here got a guess? What do you think? Soak in? You know, I used to think that too. It would melt or be absorbed. You know what? It'll stay right there unless I knock it off. It takes a temperature of 105 degrees to melt that grease. What's your body temperature? 98.6. So what happens is when you eat heavy greases and oils, it gets into your system, your body doesn't flush it well. It solidifies, gets into your arteries, and causes plaque. This little diagram is made by the American Medical Association. It's called Death of an Artery. This is what we look like when we're born. Hey folks, you want a real shocker? Did you know that this is what they say the average 11-year-old walking around looks like? Already 7% blockage. Folks, did any of you see that at the newest one that came out a few months ago, a study out of Kansas Children's Hospital? They did an ultrasound on a whole bunch of kids ages 10 to 17. You know what they found? Half of those children had arteries that appeared 30 years older than they were. 10-year-olds with arteries of 40-year-olds. Too many Happy Meals and fried foods. This is what we look like later in life. It's as simple as this, though, isn't it? If I took this grease, came to your house today, and dumped it down your drain, what would happen? Clog it up. You get mad at me, kick me out, call plumber, he charged you $150. What do you suppose a doctor charged you to unplug that? Yeah, if you get there in time, it's an awful lot of money in it. So we're going to show you how to cook without all that grease and oil. But what we're going to really do is show you how to cook healthy and have it taste good at the same time. After all, we have some new people in the show. How many of you think you'd probably eat a little healthier if it tasted better? Can I show you how to do that? Can I prove to you that we can do that? We'll do that here today. And we're going to use this electric skillet as one of the things. Now, has anybody in my audience does anybody got an electric skillet? Do you have one of these? Okay, you got a regular one? Am I right? Right about here, underneath that cooking surface, there's an element, right? And it creates hot spots where they stick and scorch. Not this one, oh man. This is what we call a liquid or oil core electric skillet. See, underneath the cooking surface, but above the element, you see that blue with the white bubbles? There's 2.5 cups of oil permanently sealed in that pan. It runs all the way across the bottom and up the sides, and it has no hot spots. I don't have trouble with stuff sticking either, and I'm going to show you that with a baking potato. We're going to put this baking potato in there starch side down. The starch side is always the side that sticks, isn't it? By the way, this pan is unique. It does a lot of things. Is your voice activated? No, mine is. Come on now. We're supposed to be the entertainment in this building. Help me out. On 3, you're supposed to cook. Now help me out. On 3, ready? So 1, 2, 3, cook! All right, that was pretty good for a first. Now let's do it one more time, you guys. A little more enthusiasm on this side over here. Help me out. 1, 2, 3, cook! All right, let's get some. By the way, you guys stand up. I got a free gift for you. Have a seat. I gave one to everybody else. I'll get that to you in a minute. We're going to get some fried chicken going here. Now, folks, I use a bone-in chicken breast for this demonstration. The reason why, bone-in ones take longer.